Hey folks, welcome back to Game Geeks. I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Today's episode, we are reviewing Armageddon, the End Times. Hey Kurt! Yeah, you reviewed this before. Why are you doing it again? One of the ideas that Rob and I had, Rob's the producer and the wizard behind all of this, for those of you who don't know. One of the ideas that Rob and I had was to go back and revisit some of the older Game Geeks episodes. So I think even though it's out of print, it's not likely to see print again, and I am 85% sure Eden Studios is no longer producing books. I think it's worth a revisit. The PDF is still available. This game is a spiritual successor and potential future for the Witchcraft role-playing game, both of these written by the genius C.J. Carella. Sorry if I said your name wrong. You can mispronounce mine anytime you want. So, talking about this, Armageddon is a spiritual successor. In Witchcraft, there is something coming called the Reckoning, and it is a great unknown. It is similar to the World of Darkness, Gehenna, or Ascension, or the Apocalypse, or pick your favorite word for everything goes to shit for the rest of the lines. And so, but it was never clearly outlined what the Reckoning was. It could be good. It could be the mass ascension of humanity, all of us gaining a new level of peace, understanding, and moving on with our lives. But let's face it, that's a boring-ass game. So in Armageddon, it supposes that the Reckoning was the advent of a mad god. Now, the mad gods are these creatures from outside of our universe. Our universe is divided up into Sephiroths, like the Tree of Life. So the great creator lives in one Sephiroth, we live in one. Hod is the dream realm. Yesod is the realm of the Fae, I think, or the primal gods. I'm going to get crap for this, watch. So in Armageddon, Reckoning happened. The acolyte of a mad god happened, wiped out huge swaths of population, and in a very short period of time had dominated most of Europe, Asia, parts of Africa, Mexico, South America. The United States, Canada, and England were still independent. So essentially what had happened was the army of revelations, led by the Dark Prophet, these are the bad guys, had expanded outward very quickly and then overreached a little bit. So now there are limits to what they can do, and we are starting to gain the ability to fight back. Humanity is not alone in this. One of the things that this book gives you that Witchcraft provided through supplements are the Inhumans that you play, the good guys. Everything from angels, both from the celestial host and the infernal legion. Or you can play the offspring, the avatar, or the incarnation of one of the old gods. I don't mean Hester, or Shub-Niggurath. I mean Ra. I mean Zeus. I mean Hephaestus. He's the bestest. I mean Loki, who's not a complete shithead in this. In fact, Loki is amazingly good. Loki and his offspring, avatars, whatever, are amazingly good at driving the army of revelations insane because of his ability with trickery, illusion, and just general magnificent bastardry. Other character types you can play are regular humans, although you're at a severe disadvantage, the gifted, who have magical powers, either in the form of invocations, straight up magic, psychic powers, the ability to speak with and to a limited extent control the dead, or the gifted, who have some sort of power from the creator. On top of that, there are Nephilim, who are the offspring of humans and angels, who are pretty much immune to magic and damn near indestructible. So they're good in a straight-up fight, although if you're trying to if you're trying to hit them from range, all you're going to do is piss them off or slow them down. True immortals from Atlantis. Part of the backstory of this was that when Lucifer fell, Gabriel had a master plan that involved flooding the world and destroying Atlantis, because Atlantis and Thule, who had been infected by the mad gods, were at war, and Gabriel decided, screw them all, they're done. So that's how Atlantis fell. But the Atlanteans are immortals, and they don't have spectacular powers as much as they have subtle things like the voice of authority, or they're, as you can imagine, they're really, really hard to kill, and they can produce magical metals such as orcicolum and adamant. The dicing system for this is a d10 plus attribute plus skill based off of a constant table where 9 is the minimum success, which is equivalent of a 5 plus 2 plus 2, which is average straight across the board, and the higher you roll, the greater your success level. Higher is obviously better. Unlike Witchcraft, All Flesh Must Be Eaten, and Terra Primate, which are all in the core Unisystem line, this, you can have attributes 9, 10, 11 without even blinking if you're playing one of these vastly empowered creatures. Almost all powers are based off of essence, which is the magical force that runs through the universe. Spells cost essence. The Seraphim and the Cherubim have theophanies, same as the Quoliphanum and the Fallen Seraphim, that are powered by essence. Essence is of limited use to the immortals, but they do pour some of that into making their special metals. The old gods use essence to power their stuff. The bad guys in the Army of Revelation have everything powered by taint. All right, go ahead and make a joke. I'll wait here. You done? Okay. So they're powered by taint, which is a corrupted essence from outside this universe. Taint and essence tend to counteract each other violently because it's the fundamental forces of two universes colliding that are mutually exclusive. The Army of Revelations is a servitor of the mad god Leviathan. There are many other mad gods. This just happens to be the one that breaks into our universe. That is implied that it is the same mad god that almost took over the world when Thule was in power and that Atlantis was busy fighting. As a side note, there are also other lost kingdoms that are mentioned in like a sidebar or a side box that include Mu, Lemuria, and it's implied that each one of those had a connection to one of the different powers. Atlanteans had their Arcanotech. The Thulians had their taint powers. The Lemurians, I think, were closer to the dead, and the lost continent of Mu, Mu, I don't know how to say it, were closer to the psychic powers. I think there is the potential for an incredibly fantastic prehistory fantasy game in here where you're dealing with that first war. Now, the good guys are led by a council, and I look at this and I'm sort of going, that was an odd choice. The council is led by the Archangel Michelle, the female form of the Archangel Michael, who found out what Gabriel had done and left heaven to lead the effort on Earth. Gabriel still doesn't know if Earth needs destroyed or not. He's kind of a punk in this. The ghost of Benjamin Franklin. Well, okay, why not? And finally, Odin. Yes, that Odin, who displayed his existence in a magnificent event where he destroyed most of the Army of the Revelations Navy in the North Sea. He just showed up and wasted them all. One of the more interesting things in this, I feel, are the pantheons that are the old gods. You've got what you would expect. Greek, Norse, Egyptian, also Aztec, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce those because every time I do, I sprain my tongue, among others. It can be a little cumbersome to play because you've got an essence pool, you're throwing around 10, 12 points of essence every round, but you're gaining them back. It's just a lot of bookkeeping to keep up with. I think Cinematic Unisystem did a nicer job of doing away with the PowerPoints, but even that has its limitations. If you like really dark urban fantasy, and it's a kitchen sink urban fantasy, so pretty much everything is real, this is probably the best one on the market. Sorry, World of Darkness, this eats your lunch. For Game Geeks, I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Good day and good gaming.